Your quantiphysics rebuttal. In Albert Einstein's relativity theory on infinite predicts a moving object gains infinite mass when approaching the speed of light. This new insight's changing Einstein's predicament of infinite mass gain. Kavetsky's statement, in the vacuum of deep space, where gravitational influence is near zero, relativistic mass increase is nullified. As a result, propulsion energy does not rise with velocity. Engines maintain a constant expenditure and can continually reimburse their own energy output. Let's break that down. Nullified mass in vacuum. Mass is only functionally inertial when space is curved by gravitational fields in low or zero gravity regions. Mass behaves as if weightless to the vacuum, therefore, no increase in resistance equals no inertial mass rise. No rise in propulsion energy. Since the ship is not accelerating against inertia, it isn't climbing an energy hill. Propulsion systems experience no relativistic fatigue. They can recycle, reimburse, or sustain their thrust output without exponential cost. Energy reimbursement mechanism. Engines may draw on space field pressure differentials X energy from quantum vacuum fluctuations, or exploit low-resistance tunneling corridors space field contraction zones. Principal statement. Quantiphysics mass energy nullification principle. In gravitationally silent vacuum, the relativistic rise of mass and energy is nullified. A spacecraft traveling at superluminal speeds within a compressed space field envelope experiences no inertial drag or exponential energy requirements. Propulsion energy remains constant, enabling continuous operation and self-reimbursement. Engineering implication. This opens the door to a new propulsion model, based not on overcoming mass but on riding null resistance corridors, using constant energy engines that may draw from CPE zero-point energy fields field tunneling, geometries or photon compression mechanics if applicable.
If we are looking into the past when look at the stars, Alpha Centauri is only a couple months away. Traveling backwards on the space speedways. Time decreases as we begin our journey. But is it time that decreases or space that contracts? The planets are big. Earth is big. Our solar system and the galaxies even bigger yet. A ship traveling through space becomes unaware of how big these celestials are. We don't even know how deep the space field actually is. So, we look out into the darkness at the stars. We're looking backwards in time ... but imagine a ship, a tiny ship in comparison to the planets and stars. We're like a piece of dust, if even that in the comparison. When we travel backwards through this dark field of space, we don't even notice the planets we pass by midstream the space field. We accelerate to light speed. A zero margin when it comes to clocks and time. We can go faster, we know this due to expanse, and the energy expanse pushes galaxies apart from each other. But space, that's something different. It pushes on the dark fabric around them, creating lumps like in the density field. As for the weight of the ship in vacuum, matter mimics space at zero-point energy. The same way planets only retain weight being in constant motion. They are warping the space field, but they are causing gigantic rippling. The celestials settle in the dark blindness. At least that's what it looks like. But we know the planets and celestials types orbit and rotate. They're always moving in position. A position that actually doesn't change. So they pass in circles or orbits, pressurizing the fabric around them. Meanwhile, the crew in the ship travels in a motionful pseudo timeline that measures zero. But space contracts as the ship travels. Its velocity pushes against the space fabric but intermediate three-dimensional space around it, like a bubble. But at superluminal speeds, space opens up two layers or levels of the space. These levels measure into the subatomic realm where time acts instantaneous to momentum or Chang'es. As the ship travels, accelerating the ship slip streams at the lowest subatomic level embedded in the fabric. The faster we accelerate in our ship faster than light speed, the more time between Alpha Centauri and Earth decreases, WH1. The space field is our time machine. Space mimics acceleration and time mimics the distance between Earth and our destination. All we have to do is accelerate to a specialty velocity and space takes over. Zero mass vacuum, zero mass environment body mass. Mimic seems to be the biggest in space travel. Propulsion, its destination towards it. Time equals distance. The quantiphysics framework tries to bring forth original and new ideas about space and space travel. For instance, superluminal abilities, how-tos and what-tos.
This is functionally similar to a mobile event horizon. Inside the bubble, space and time halt. Outside, normal causality applies. The ship creates and moves within a contracted sublayer of the universal space field. Field modelher is a mathematical field model for your quanta physics contracting space field corridor, structured to describe localized space contraction around the ship, temporal boundary conditions inside versus outside the corridor, how time and distance change across the corridor's geometry. 1. Space field metric tensor. Modified quanta bubblets define a quanta space field metric as a deformation of flat spacetime that allows for local contraction, where temporal warping factor, radial space contraction factor, radial distance from ship center, angular part of the spherical metric. 2. Local space contraction function define the space contraction envelope centered at the ship as, where contraction radius of the space tunnel no contraction at center, as this compresses the radial distances within the field. To an external observer, the corridor becomes extremely short near light speed. 3. Temporal dilation inside the field define a time freezing function, where the temporal null radius, size of the region where time approaches 0 is, clocks run normally for the ship is, clocks freeze to external observer so at the outer boundary, Earth or the star may lie within the region of, effectively suspending time there while the ship travels. 4. Field boundary and energy threshold. The transition boundary is governed by a condition on the local energy density. This forms a Gaussian field wall, centered on the ship. Effective energy speed tiers. The energy required to contract space sharply increases as the ship approaches light speed. In your theory, you can modify this to tiered behavior, where each is a tier speed limit C1 to C4 and controls field stiffness. 5. Final summary field interpretation. Quantity behavior inside bubble behavior outside bubble distance radially contracted via and change of time slowed or frozen via normal flow. Light speed travel appears instantaneous from within 8-minute passes from Earth frame and less within. Tunnels influence Earth and planet may remain inside. Suspending time else advance normally.